going on, guys? So about an hour has passed. Everything's pretty much dry. I retouched some stuff with the heat gun just to get most of the moisture out, or all of the moisture out. So I'm just going to reassemble my TCR, put everything back to normal. I'll show you how to, I mean, it's basically just the opposite of what I did earlier, reverse. So I have my main housing right here, and I'm going to put the stock back on the valve and put the spring and detent back in here, and then reattach the gas line, and so on and so on. So before I put the stock on, I'm going to put the adjuster back in here. So it just goes in here. It can only orient one way. You can't put it upside down. It's not going to work. So it goes in like this, and then I can adjust the stock. Like I said in the previous video, since my pan that I'm using isn't I can't completely submerge this. This is going to be hidden in the inside of the TCR, but this part is going to be exposed. So I can't really get this any better. I mean, I could use Sharpie ink or something, because I'm not going to be touching this. I use Sharpie ink on my Byrna SD, and it didn't really stick very well. So anyway, this is the finished product. You can re-hit this over and over if you want, if that's going to really bug you. You're not going to see it very often. So I put that adjuster in here. I'm going to put the magazine holder right here, and it orients like this way. So put that there. The other side is this thing. You can put this either way. This doesn't matter. And it just goes in right here. So we're just doing this the opposite of how we disassembled it. So this is in here. You put this down here. Whoopsie. All right. So yeah, this little tab should be on the top, because I was trying to put it the other way and it didn't work. So I'm just gonna get the screws that I removed from here. And it's these little short ones. This is an 1/8 inch Allen key. So I'm going to start this one just to get it started. And it's pretty easy to reassemble this. So I'm just going to pause it really quick so you guys aren't just watching me do this really slow. Alright, so this is tightened down now. Those two screws are tightened. You can see the back of it right here and right here. And then the next part is to put this cheek rest back on here. So this angle is this way. It's easy to put this back together. So it's already back on, and yeah, pretty much really easy. And then this screw has a flat notch thing right here, right underneath the head, and that flat notch thing goes on the right side of the stock, and it fits in right here. So it just goes in there. That little notch will rest in this cutout, so it won't let you push this in because it's blocking it, but once it's oriented correctly, it'll go in like that. And then you get that adjuster screw, and you just tighten it down, and you can always adjust this later. You don't have to have it adjusted perfectly right now. So I'm gonna let my brother do whatever he wants to this. And as far as the adjustment on the cheek pouch thing, but I still want to power tune this. So it's pretty much factory right now, whatever that is, probably 12 joules or 14 joules or something. And the whole reason I want to do this is because now he has a remote line on it, and I bought him a big old tank and a airline remote line, so he can run an airline just like how I do. And we both used to play paintball, so he liked that more than putting all the weight of the air tank onto the actual marker, like putting a pipes and stuff, pipe fittings on the back, and then running it alongside on the Picatinny rail. He just wanted to use it like a paintball setup, so he liked that more than running an airline on the side. So I'm just making sure that this air valve is this pin is pressed in all the way. It is. And I'm just going to put the bolt back on here and fix my little bumper O-ring. I got my detent in the thing, and before I do any of this stuff, like last time how I screwed up, I'm going to put the regulator back on here. So there's a brass pipe that goes from the regulator to the valve. And then I'm just going to push it all back where it needs to go. Put this in here. Put this back, and put my bolt back and everything. So yeah, I'm just reassembling this. I've done this a lot with my own Byrna TCR, and the Tippmann Tip-X is very, very similar to this on the inside. So let me just fix this. So I'm gonna do this off camera because I'm screwing up and like dropping everything, so I'll be right back. All right, you guys, I got it pretty much all back together. Pushed on the detent, put the valve back, the stock is attached back here, and I'm going to put the CO2 catch thing. I'm going to put the set screw and the nut back in here. So the nut goes in here. This is like this, you know, on the front, on the housing. So this is the nut I took out. I'm pretty sure you can put it either way because it's just grabbing onto the set screw. So it goes in this notch right here, and then you get your set screw and make sure that the Allen head is facing outwards, and you put it in this hole, and you will have to adjust based on which CO2 capsule you're using, whether it be a Umarex or a Daisy or a Byrna brand one. I've tried Crossman in here and it doesn't really like it, even though like I'm using different types of Crossman 12-gram cartridges. For some reason it just doesn't like the Crossman ones as far as like piercing it to use a 12-gram. I can use a Crossman once it's already pierced and just use it in here to access the remote line the correct way. But yeah, for whatever reason, it just doesn't like Crossman. Mine doesn't, at least. I'm not sure if my brother's is going to be the same, but even Byrna in their instruction manual doesn't recommend using Crossman 12-gram cartridges. I don't know why. I couldn't really tell you. It's probably some random little like millimeter size difference off, or like half a millimeter off for whatever reason. Anyways, I use Daisy, Umarex, and Byrna CO2 carts, and they work flawlessly. So yeah, now I'm going to put the shell back on. Pretty sure that's everything. I'm just double checking really quick, and yeah, yeah, pretty much good. So I'm going to put the shell back on, and then I'm going to reattach all those stuff that used to be orange, and I'm going to, you know, record once I put this thing back together. All right, guys, so I tried to reassemble it, and then when I flipped it over, or was trying to put the shell back on, I forgot that the piece, the Picatinny rail, now everything's falling out. Picatinny rail on the back, it needs to be secured first. So I'm talking about this rail that goes on the back side of this. So you put it in there. It should line up with the holes that are right here, and there's another hole, like my thumb's kind of covering it. There's another hole right there, and I'm just gonna feed these through the back so that I don't drop more parts out of this. This is easy to reassemble. Like, I've done this millions of times, but in the event that you can't get yours to come back together or something, I'll show you the pieces that may be a problem later. I'm just trying to get my 1/8 inch Allen wrench right here. So let me get the camera. I'll put it right here. And so yeah, the stuff that can fall out is basically this detent, your trigger, there's a magazine release right here. So all that stuff can fall out if you flip it over, you know, this way. And I'm just gonna do it right now because just to show you guys, you know, what's going on. So I put one of the screws in, the other one fell over here somewhere, and I'm just going to tighten this one down so it's at least tightened down. So tightening this one down, and yeah, pretty much just trying to feed it through to line up with the inside of the CO2 puncture area. And yeah, once I get that going, I'm gonna look for that other screw, so I'll be right back. All right, you guys, so I tightened the first screw down. I found the one that fell out. It was like hiding underneath my trigger right here. And then I tightened this one down, I'm just double checking that it's good. So now I'm gonna put it all back together. Some pieces that may fall out is this actuator arm. So make sure that it's back all the way. And then, you know, obviously this magazine release, it fits in right here. My phone's kind of running low on battery, so I can't turn on the flashlight right now. And then the trigger can come loose or pop out or whatever. So yeah, there's just some extra parts that you might not run into problems with it, or you might run into problems with it. That is the pin for the trigger. So that goes right there. And then this is the trigger. So that shiny pin fits on the bottom one, and the top one that goes into that active actuator arm, I believe it's called. So that will go like that. And then you want to get that that hole to fit where the trigger pin thing is. So it's in there right now. This should be back all the way. Don't have it forward, this part. And if you leave your TCR on safe, you're not going to have any issues with that because it's blocking the trigger from moving. So yeah, this arm needs to be all the way back, and then that trigger pin needs to be in there, and this little notch on the trigger needs to be in that hole in there. It's kind of hard to see. Sorry, my phone's dying. So I'm going to put all these guts back in here, and then I'll be right back. All right, you guys, I got the TCR back together. I'm just going to put these screws back in, and I'll show you guys how to reassemble that front CO2 housing puncture system thing. So it's not very hard. I just want to put a couple screws in just to make sure that the pressure stays in. And I'm going to put my stock bolts in just to keep this all, you know, lined up, and to keep things from popping out or coming loose or whatever, because that's where all the pressure is from the springs and stuff, or from the bolt spring. So those are the stock bolts. They are round head. You can put them in either direction, or not either direction, but either top or bottom or top. It doesn't matter. They're the same threads, are the same length, but they have the round head on the on the bolt on the stock bolts. So I'm just putting them in here. You might have to squeeze it down a little bit to get the bolt all the way through. So I'm going to do this really quick. All right, so this is tightened now. The bolts on the stock are tightened up, so this shouldn't like do anything funky. So you're going to grab your CO2 thing. It's all dried up now. I put the nut in here and the set screw in here, and I will have to adjust it later to adjust it to whatever CO2 cartridge I'm going to be using, or my brother's going to be using. So yeah, this is the pin. This is the fat part of the pin. So there's like a little step right here, and that goes up. So the stepped part goes on the bottom of the TCR, and it goes in this hole right here, and you just push it through there, and it should just push back up. If it's not pushing up for whatever reason, just move this around a little bit, maybe push it forward or push it back. Most likely you have to push it back, this housing, pull it back a little bit, and then it should push through, and you're good to go. Like, your pin will be right here, and all you have to do now is just put the rest of the screws and everything back in. So yeah, it's not that hard. This looks way better than it used to, in my opinion. The don't forget to put the hidden top bolt in here. I'll show you where that was. I already did it ahead of time. So that bolt, or, you know, set screw bolt thing, it goes on the top rail. It's hidden when this is attached, but I already put it in there. So yeah, don't forget that one. And then you can just put all these screws back in, place them in here. If for some reason you don't have a bolt like grabbing onto anything on the opposite side down here, you probably a nut fell out. It doesn't happen very often, but for me right now, one of the nuts fell out of the on the opposite side of this clamshell. One of the nuts fell out, so the bolt wasn't catching anything. So I'm just going to kind of like tighten these down, and then I will tighten everything down, and then I'll show you how this looks, you know, from afar. And it looks way better, and it's not all orange and weird looking anymore. So this is how it should have been. When Tittman made these, they were just black, like all black, and it said Tittman TCR right here. So yeah, I'm just gonna put this all back together, and then I'll show you what this looks like afterwards. All right, guys, she's all reassembled. I mean, as you can see, there's a little bit of orange still right there. I did my best. If I re-dyed this, it would take me like another like 30 or 40 minutes. I'm probably just going to color it in with Sharpie ink, or tell my brother to color it in with Sharpie ink. I'm going to leave it the stock extended all the way. It's only like halfway extended right now, but I'm going to leave the stock extended out all the way, let it air dry, and yeah, it's looking way better than that orange weird stuff they had going on. And this is the other side. I put the sights back on, put the barrel back on, and yeah, so this is all super dark. It'll take a couple days for it to kind of like chill out a little bit, like it'll mellow out a little bit. It won't be as dark, but it'll take some sunlight, like direct sunlight, and some just time for this to look not black. The way mine looks, it's still dark. It's like dark green. I don't like shoot it all the time, but I have noticed it has like mellowed out a little bit. So yeah, this is the TCR now with the RIT die on the stock and all these other pieces and stuff. And yeah, once I give this back to my brother, I'm pretty sure he's gonna like it. And just tell him to hit these parts with some Sharpie ink, just so it doesn't look orange if it really bothers him that much. I mean, you can barely notice it. Only if you're like if you're looking all at this, you're not going to notice that little bit of orange right there. But I mean, yeah, you can't really buy stocks and cheek risers and like these rails and stuff. It's really hard to get these pieces for this because yeah, Tittman doesn't make them anymore. You have to just find the pieces on random websites and stuff, and they're not always easily available. And now that he has his remote line on here, he can attach an air tank and leave an empty CO2 in here, and he can have, you know, 300 shots or 600 shots without having to reload or worry about running out of air. I mean, yeah, we both played paintball before, so we're used to having massive amounts of ammo, and it's not like you're going to need that for a self-defense, but for home defense, if you're up against like 2 or 3 people, hopefully they don't have, you know, actual firearms, but if they have just like blunt weapons or knives or something, and you have a couple magazines, or even if I got the hopper adapter for this, see that little circle cutout thing right there? If I got a hopper adapter for this, which I was kind of thinking of getting, I could stick a hopper on this, and every single shot would be like 40 joules or 30 joules, and I'll have 200 rounds to use it with, instead of 12, and then switching out mags, having 7, or having like 3 12-round magazines, or the Zeta Mag 20-round magazines from the MCS. I could just throw a hopper on here and have 200 rounds, and I just have to worry about the hopper feeding the next ball with gravity. So yeah, this thing's done, good to go. I'm going to power tune it next, stick a giant CO2 tank on here, start messing with the velocity adjuster in there. You can't really see it, it's kind of dark, but yeah. Yeah, that'll be a future video, and thanks for checking it out, and see you guys next time.